Mr. Knockout, definition original, baby gangsta. Approach me like you hard motherfucker.
Donald B's in the place to give me the pace. You say my man JD is on free.
Only if you want it, yes I really want it. Only if you want it, yes I really want it.
I've unearthed every secret, scrutinized every detail of the mysterious death of Eazy-E, a rap legend, a game changer in hip-hop culture. Just 31 days after being hospitalized with cold-like symptoms, Eazy-E passed away permanently. But this is not a normal death. Was this death really just a simple medical tragedy? A hasty wedding was held right at the hospital. Why? Because Eazy-E wasn't sure if he had enough time left to live. And then there were Suge Knight's insinuations about whether HIV is a killing tool that some people in the industry are using. So why was there a sudden change in the transfer of power at Ruthless Records right after Eazy-E's death? How could an artist at their peak fall into the hands of death? Just a few weeks later. This isn't just an ordinary death. This is a story that has never been revealed. And now I will reveal everything. What you know is just the surface. But what's really happening behind the scenes? Are you ready to accept the truth? 1. The rise and fall of a legend. From a poor boy, no one thought Eazy-E would become a legend. But it was that very past that helped him build an indomitable strength. Eazy-E, whose real name is Eric Lynn Wright, grew up in the impoverished neighborhood of Compton, California, where violence and poverty were a daily reality. Corpses were scattered throughout the alleys. There weren't many options for the children here, and Eazy-E was no exception. Not being a good student, he had to face a challenging life from a very young age. Dropping out of school after only the 10th grade, he didn't have enough money to continue pursuing his dream of education, and had to venture into street life, where every day was a battle for survival. However, instead of letting difficulties consume him, Eazy-E found his own way to overcome them. He realized that in a society like Compton, if you wanted to live better, you had to create opportunities for yourself. And the path he chose, the short, was full of danger selling drugs. It was a risky choice, but also an unavoidable decision for children growing up in conditions like his. The drug deals, the dodging and weaving to avoid the police, and the daily dangers shaped Eazy-E into a cold and calculating person. He knew how to survive, how to win in an unfair war. Those years helped him build a spirit as resilient and strong as steel, not easily defeated and never accepting defeat in the face of adversity. It was that very difficulty that forged him into a person who is not afraid to confront challenges. Although the path of selling drugs is dangerous, it opened up unimaginable opportunities for Eazy-E. It was only by doing that job that he made his first connections in the music industry and stepped onto the glamorous path of showbiz. And then one day, Eazy-E realized that he didn't just want to live in the shadows of the streets, but that he could do something greater. That led him to Ruthless Records, where he became the founder, a powerful executive who never gave up. Although he admitted that selling drugs was a wrong decision, Eazy-E once shared, "Many people ask me if I regret selling drugs back then, and I'm sorry I don't regret it. I know it's wrong, but that's really what black kids can do. However, I'm not saying it's good. Don't be foolish enough to imitate it these days." This is the truth about Eazy-E's past. A choice he knew was wrong, but was the only way to survive in the society he was born into. That resilient personality not only helped Eazy-E overcome life's challenges, but also helped him face challenges in the music industry. From the very beginning, Eazy-E faced major conflicts not only with big names like Dr. Dre, but also with Suge Knight. Despite being pushed into a fierce confrontation, Eazy-E never backed down, never gave up, which helped him stand strong. However, throughout his career, Eazy-E always remembered his early days with N.W.A, where he considered his bandmates his second family. In those months facing poverty and violence, music was their only escape, the thing that helped them find connection and the strength to succeed. And it was in those very moments that Eazy-E became even more convinced that hardship is what helps a person stand firm, that only a resilient spirit and determination can help one overcome all challenges. But no one could have predicted that just as Eazy-E reached the pinnacle of success, when he had everything, death would come so suddenly. On February 24, 1995, Eazy-E was hospitalized with severe coughing and difficulty breathing. Initially, he thought it was just a common respiratory illness, but medical reports revealed that his immune system was almost completely paralyzed. AIDS is the main reason for his rapid decline in health. It's noteworthy that this disease, pneumocystis carinii pneumonia, only occurs in cases where the patient has a weakened immune system. This further fueled suspicion and doubt among many regarding the cause of the sudden death. Because when Eazy-E passed away on March 26, 1995, at the young age of 30, his death could not simply be a coincidence. The death of Eazy-E was a huge shock to the entire hip-hop community. No one expected a legend like him to pass away so quickly. A person who once conquered the world, who overcame countless challenges, had to leave due to an illness that no one in the music community imagined would happen to them. So was Eazy-E's sudden death really just a medical tragedy? Or is there some conspiracy behind his death that we haven't fully understood yet? These questions are still being asked and will undoubtedly continue to raise doubts and a search for truth among his fans, those who have always believed in Eazy-E's ability to overcome. So with a person who had a past like Eazy-E, how could you imagine that someone so powerful could die so quickly from a disease like AIDS? This made people question the real reason behind his death. 2. The fast and furious decline. A mysterious diagnosis. The funeral was held the very next day at Rose Hills Memorial Park in Whittier. According to the Los Angeles Times, more than 3,000 people attended, including MC Hammer DJ Yella and many other celebrities. The ceremony was described as solemn, but the absence of Ice Cube and Dr. Dre, his former N.W.A. bandmates, revealed unprecedented cracks that had not been healed. For the media, it was an earthquake event. Newsweek called Eazy-E's death a wake-up call for gangster rap. An artist once considered an invincible figure in music competitions had his life cut short by an illness that many considered outside the world of hip-hop. What made Eazy-E's death even more shocking was the incredibly rapid progression of the illness. According to Dr. William Young, who directly treated Eazy-E, he contracted HIV through heterosexual intercourse. However, the strange thing is that his condition progressed too quickly. Normally, HIV takes 8 to 10 years to progress to AIDS, but with Eazy-E, within just 1 month, he went from being healthy to critically ill. In just a few weeks, he was completely depleted and passed away, leading many to question the true cause of his death. The rapid progression of the disease made it difficult for many fans and the public to accept that this was merely a simple medical case. Why would someone like Eazy-E, who overcame so many hardships in his life and career, have his life taken so quickly by the disease process? This is the key point that makes his death a mystery that has not been adequately solved to this day. The circumstances surrounding Eazy-E's death further complicate the story. Ruthless Records, where Eazy-E founded and made N.W.A. a rap icon, was not just a music company, but also a battleground for power. Just 2 years after Ruthless Records' success, Ice Cube left the group due to financial disputes with Eazy-E and Jerry Heller. Dr. Dre, a close friend of Eazy-E, also left Ruthless to join Suge Knight's Death Row Records, where he came under the patronage of the Notorious Mogul. Power struggles not only occur in music, but also erupt into lengthy legal battles. Real and Chutes, a song by Eazy-E released in 1993, was a direct criticism of Dr. Dre and Suge Knight, making the situation more tense than ever. Beside the tensions in the music, Eazy-E's personal life was also very complicated. 12 days before his death, he married Tamika Woods in the hospital. And according to his will, Tamika became the heir, taking over Ruthless Records. This transfer of power happened too quickly right after his death. Controversies over inheritance rights immediately erupted, and the public couldn't help but suspect manipulation of power within Eazy-E's family and company. His death raised many questions about whether it was the result of a simple medical tragedy, or if there was a conspiracy behind it to seize power in the music industry. The theory surrounding Eazy-E's death is becoming increasingly complex as doubts emerge about whether he may have been injected with HIV. One of the figures involved in the controversies in this industry is Suge Knight, who had tense confrontations with Eazy-E. In an appearance on Jimmy Kimmel Live, Suge Knight vaguely stated that, "If you want to kill someone, just inject them with HIV." These statements resonated with many people who were connected to Eazy-E's death, and they began to believe in a conspiracy theory was Eazy-E, a victim of an assassination carried out by injecting him with HIV. The death of Eazy-E was not only a medical tragedy, but also a story full of mystery with unanswered questions. Was his death merely the result of a rapidly progressing illness, or was there a power struggle behind it? With the power grab that occurred immediately after his death, along with strange statements from industry figures, suspicion only grew. The death of Eazy-E may not have been just a medical tragedy, but perhaps an unfinished story. A story for which his fans continue to seek the truth. However, in the shadow of that death, there were powerful ghosts lurking behind those who would greatly benefit from Eazy-E's disappearance. 3. The impact of Eazy-E's death on Ruthless Records and legacy. Eazy-E passed away, but his estate was disputed in a relentless battle. When Eazy-E passed away, it was not only the loss of a music legend, but also a great shock to his family, friends, and all who loved him. Tamika Woods, the wife of Eazy-E, has become the sole heir to Ruthless Records, the music empire he built. However, this transfer of power was not smooth at all. Immediately after Eazy-E's death, an unforgiving battle erupted with his children and relatives opposing the decision. The whole family wants a piece of the asset management and ownership, especially since Ruthless Records is still a very valuable company. This is not just a legal battle, but also a fight for power, money, and fame, making everything incredibly tense. Eazy-E, though deceased, left an immeasurable legacy, making it difficult for his closest loved ones to accept that an outsider, not his child, would take over the empire he painstakingly built. The transfer of power is not simple at all. Tamika Woods' takeover of Ruthless Records after Eazy-E's death was a controversial move. Not everyone agrees with this decision, especially those who were close to and accompanied Eazy-E throughout his life. While Tamika Woods stepped forward as the legal heir, Eazy-E's family members, especially his children, felt abandoned. Eazy-E always considered family the most important thing in life, but now his loved ones are facing injustice within their own family. This not only increases tension within the family, but also raises questions about fairness in the distribution of assets and power within the company. This dissatisfaction didn't just stay within the family, it also spread to those involved in the music industry, as Ruthless Records was once a second home to many artists and major figures. This dispute became even more complicated when Eazy-E's relatives began to have doubts about Tamika Woods' management and manipulation of power. Fans of Eazy-E and his family feel lost and wronged for not being included in this decision. In particular, Eazy-E's children suffered the greatest loss not only from losing their father, but also from the inheritance rights they should have had. In reality, even the Tamika Woods became the legal heir family divisions, and conflicting relationships made managing and developing Eazy-E's legacy more complex than ever. This led to a sense of regret among Eazy-E's fans, seeing such a great legacy crumble so soon after his death. Betrayal within the family isn't limited to the division of assets. It also involves the former close relationships between Eazy-E and his longtime friends. His children, who were not yet old enough to face these power struggles, felt abandoned and helpless in the fight for inheritance. When Eazy-E was alive, he always tried to maintain these relationships, but now they have been torn apart by irreconcilable internal disputes. This loss not only grieved the family, but also deeply hurt those who loved Eazy-E. They saw a musical legend, a man of resilience, having to leave so suddenly, and without time to prepare for what would come next. It was a family tragedy that not only the members of Eazy-E's family had to endure, but his fans couldn't help but feel heartbroken as well. They not only lost an idol, but also witnessed the dissolution of what seemed to be the strongest relationships. Ultimately, Eazy-E's legacy, no matter how great, was drawn into legal battles he couldn't participate in. His musical legacy, though great and widely influential, is now a tempting target for calculated power struggles. Although Eazy-E is no longer with us, these controversies continue to unfold in the shadows. Ruthless Records remains one of the biggest music companies in the rap world, and his heirs cannot avoid the relentless competition from industry rivals. This raises a big question. Will those who inherit Eazy-E's musical legacy have the strength and influence to preserve the value and importance of Ruthless Records? Or will they simply let his legacy fade into oblivion? Even though Eazy-E is gone, His musical legacy lives on and his fans continue to ask about the truth. 4. The cultural impact of Eazy-E's life and death. Eazy-E was not only a legend in the world of hip-hop, but he was also the one who changed the way the world perceived and understood music, especially the gangsta rap genre. N.W.A, the group he co-founded, was not only a musical icon, but also a voice for those marginalized by society. In the 1980s and 1990s, the United States, particularly the black community in poor neighborhoods, was facing injustices and racial discrimination. They have no voice, no one listens, and only music can truly reflect the pain and suffering in their lives. Eazy-E and N.W.A didn't just make music. They redefined how people viewed rap and hip-hop. Their songs like F the Police, Straight Outta Compton, and many others are not just rap tracks, but powerful messages of resistance and social justice. They are not afraid to face oppression, and they are not afraid to fight to protect their rights and the rights of their community. That's why their songs have transcended the boundaries of music, becoming symbols of freedom of speech and resistance against the system. The honesty and courage in Eazy-E's music made him an unmissable figure in music history. He didn't hesitate to depict the dark moments of street life, from violence to poverty, and how the black community in Compton struggled to survive in a society rife with injustice. These very factors made Eazy-E an icon in the world of hip-hop, where many artists later learned from and found inspiration in what he contributed. Although Eazy-E is no longer alive, the musical legacy he and N.W.A left behind lives on, not only in their hit songs, but also in the hearts of hip-hop artists and fans. From famous rappers like Kendrick Lamar and Eminem to underground artists, Eazy-E remains a role model for them to look up to. People like Kendrick Lamar, though from a different generation, still carry the spirit of Eazy-E within them and express through their music their outrage at injustice, their courage, and their belief in changing society. Eminem, despite his distinct style, once honored Eazy-E as someone who made rap the common language of the forgotten. Eazy-E was not only the founder of Ruthless Records, but also a music revolutionary. His works are not just music, they are weapons against oppression and injustice in society. Eazy-E dared to say what no one else dared to live true to himself, and inspired millions. That's precisely why even though he's passed away, Eazy-E's name will never be forgotten. What he left in the music industry and hip-hop culture is undeniable. For those who love Eazy-E's music, even though he has passed away, his legacy lives on. The next generation of rappers still honors him through their music, still carrying the spirit of Eazy-E within them, not only in their songwriting, but also in their way of life and their struggles. Eazy-E not only changed the way people perceived hip-hop, but also helped it become a powerful weapon, a tool for marginalized people to speak out. Eazy-E is an irreplaceable figure in the history of hip-hop. He didn't just make music, he reshaped an entire culture, a new approach to life and music. And despite the conspiracies and doubts surrounding his death, one thing is certain: Eazy-E's legacy lives on and will always be celebrated by future generations. What he did, what he stood up against, will always be an inspiring fire for the world of hip-hop. Despite unanswered questions and lingering doubts, Eazy-E remains a living legend in the hearts of his fans. Those who loved him will continue to tell his story, honor the values he left behind, and never forget a man who changed the world of music. Eazy-E may be gone, but he will live on forever in every beat of hip-hop music, in every rap lyric of artists today and tomorrow. 5. The road not taken. What if Eazy-E had lived? If Eazy-E were still alive, his life could have led to a profound chain of changes not only in the music industry, but also in society, politics, and hip-hop culture in particular. A figure as influential as Eazy-E, with his sharp foresight and strategic abilities, would not only continue to dominate the music world, but could also bring about revolutions in areas he hadn't yet touched. One notable factor is Eazy-E's potential to expand his influence beyond the music industry. Before his death, he had taken his first steps into the fields of film and television, suggesting he might have expanded his Ruthless Records empire to include film production and television projects. He could have built a multimedia empire with biographical films, reality shows about the artist's life, and even documentaries about the history of hip-hop. Eazy-E's involvement in the entertainment industry may have helped hip-hop spread even more widely and gain an official place in media outlets. Besides expanding his music career, Eazy-E could have also become a significant figure in social movements. An artist like Eazy-E, with a history of fighting for the marginalized, would certainly not be able to stand aside from social issues, especially struggles related to civil rights, injustice, and racism. If he were still alive, he could have become a powerful voice in anti-racism campaigns, participated in community organizations, and might even have advocated for policies protecting the rights of the poor and Black communities. Along with expanding his social influence, Eazy-E likely also became a mentor and advisor to young hip-hop artists. He is not only a music creator, but also an excellent manager, capable of bringing emerging artists like Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, and Chance the Rapper to new heights. Eazy-E had a strategic vision, not only in music, but also in management and investment. And if he were still alive, he would likely have helped these artists overcome barriers in the music industry and create strong companies and music projects. In particular, Eazy-E was a person who was adaptable and bold in facing challenges. If he were still alive, he might have participated in the technological revolutions, where music and digital technology are strongly intersecting. He may have been a pioneer in the development of online music platforms, or the founder of digital music companies, ushering in a new era in how people consume music and connect with artists. However, it's impossible not to mention the change in Eazy-E's role in hip-hop culture. He is a founder not only in music, but also in building culture. If he were still alive, Eazy-E could have been a pioneer in creating a global form of hip-hop not limited to the United States, but expanding to other regions such as Europe, Asia, and elsewhere, creating a global community of people who love and pursue this style. Beside the changes in music and society, Eazy-E may have also played a significant role in changing how hip-hop artists are perceived in society. He was not only the first to bring hip-hop into the mainstream, but also helped reduce the stigma against hip-hop artists. If he were still alive, he could have continued to be a role model for the younger generation of artists, teaching them how to protect their musical and cultural values in an ambitious industry. Given what Eazy-E achieved, no one can deny that his career would have continued to flourish if he were still alive. His influence certainly wasn't limited to music. It extended to other fields, changing both the industry and society. Eazy-E's legacy will not only be his hit songs, but also the values of resilience, creativity, and the ability to use music to create change. What Eazy-E might have done in the future will forever remain a big question, but one thing is certain: if Eazy-E were still alive, he would continue to be a world changer, not just through his music, but through his very influence. 6. The legacy. Lives on. Eazy-E's legacy is undeniable. Although he passed away too soon, his influence extended beyond music, strongly impacting hip-hop culture and subsequent generations of artists. Eazy-E became an icon not only because of his talent, but also because he dared to face challenges and never stopped fighting for what he believed in. He was the one who brought gangsta rap from the shadows of the streets into the mainstream of world music, paving the way for artists like Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, and many others who continue to reshape hip-hop today. Despite being the founder of Ruthless Records and having witnessed countless struggles in the music industry, Eazy-E never gave in to the challenges he faced. Arguments, conflicts, and the storms of life could not bring him down. Thanks to his strong attitude toward life, Eazy-E not only built a great career, but also inspired a generation of young artists who saw music not just as a profession, but as a tool to reflect the difficulties and suffering in society. Although his death was sudden and tragic, the legacy Eazy-E left behind continues to live on in the hearts of those who loved him. When you think of hip-hop, you can't help but mention Eazy-E, who paved the way for a powerful musical movement. Although many people still cannot explain his sudden death, skepticism about the underlying cause persists. But no matter what, one thing is certain: Eazy-E will never be forgotten. Eazy-E left an indelible mark on the world of hip-hop by opening a door for personal expression, fighting for justice, and conveying the stories of marginalized individuals. His songs not only speak of injustices, but are also a call for freedom and respect. He is not just a rapper, but an icon of resilience and relentless fighting, It was N.W.A. and Eazy-E's work that became a solid foundation for subsequent generations of hip-hop artists who continued to carry his message further. Although Eazy-E's career ended tragically, his legacy continues to live on. Artists like Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, and Eminem have not only inherited his music, but have also honored the spirit and values he brought to rap. Those values are not just music, but also a way of life, an attitude toward adversity, and an indomitable spirit that refuses to be subdued. There's no denying that Eazy-E left a significant mark on both the music and hip-hop culture. Although he passed away long ago, his name, powerful rap lyrics, and rebellious spirit in music live on forever. The fact that Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, and other rappers still pay tribute to him in their albums is a testament to Eazy-E's enduring influence. Songs like Boys in the Hood or Real N.I.'rs are not just musical works, but cultural legacies that live on in the hearts of fans. The death of Eazy-E remains an unanswered question. Doubt about the cause of his death exists not only in the hearts of fans, but also among those working in the music industry. But it was precisely this that created a mystique around his name. Eazy-E remains an enduring icon, not only for his talent, but also for his courageous life story and powerful resistance. A person who overcame challenges, faced struggles without ever faltering, whether in music or in life. His influence extended beyond music to encompass culture, society, and the shift in thinking within the Black community in the United States. The values that Eazy-E fought for his entire life are now not just a reminder, but a testament to the power of resilience. Today, hip-hop music continues to evolve, but the mark Eazy-E left is always remembered, always mentioned, and cherished. No matter how many theories there are about his death, no matter how many questions or conspiracies remain unanswered, Eazy-E's legacy cannot be forgotten. He contributed to the development of hip-hop, making it a powerful tool for reflecting society and global issues. Although Eazy-E is no longer here to witness the growth of young artists, what he did will continue to inspire future generations. So no matter what the truth is, one thing is certain: Eazy-E will live forever in the hearts of those who loved him with all the legacy he left behind. His songs, life lessons, and resistance will continue to resonate, and the name Eazy-E will never be forgotten in music history. Eazy-E wasn't just a legend of his time, but a legend for all who believe that music can change the world.
All data, analysis, and commentary in this video are presented based on information available at the time of production. The content is subject to change over time and should not be considered a definitive forecast. There is still so much more to explore: stories of resilience, legacy, and truth. Feel free to dive into some of our top recommended videos now appearing on your screen.